Yo, what's up YouTube? It's Edwin the Comic Jabroni coming at you, and in today's video, I'm going to give you my top 5 reads of 2019. So stick around. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, guys. Edwin the Comic Jabroni, like I said at the beginning. And in today's video, I want to discuss my top 5 reads of this year. Now, with this list, I have to say that it is my top 5 reads of the year. Is it necessarily going to be your top 5, or are these going to be in your top 5? I don't know, but this is mine. These are the books that I enjoyed this year. I gave myself some rules, some specifications, if you want to say, on how I was going to choose these. And really the biggest thing was it had to be a book or a story arc or storyline that started and ended in 2019. Now, if it's a book that came out 2018 and it ended in 2019, or it's a book that started in 2019 and just hasn't finished yet, I decided that I wasn't going to include that. So the one big thing is these 5 stories, and there's an honorable mention, so 6. They all started in 2019 and they've ended in 2019. Kind of made things a little bit more difficult, but I was able to do it. Now, if you guys watched yesterday's video, my live stream where John and Perry Comics, part of the 4 Horsemen of Comics, where they joined in, I told you guys that there was going to be a giveaway, a comic giveaway in that video, and it totally slipped my mind to even discuss that or show the books off or any of that. So what I'm going to do in today's video, at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about the rules and all the fine small print and all the things that you're going to need to do to be entered into that giveaway, guys. But without further ado, let's get into the list. We're going to start off with the honorable mention. Alright guys, so the honorable mention for me for 2019 goes to Image Comics Excellence issue number 1. But not only issue number 1, but we've got issue number 2, issue number 3, issue 4, and issue 5. Now, this is the first story arc in Excellence. This came out in May of 2019, and it was a great read. It was a read that I was late on. I think I jumped in at issue number 3, and I was lucky enough to go back and find issue number 1 and issue number 2 when I was up in Austin doing some military things, and I was able to find issue number 1, which seems to be going for around, what I'm looking at is $20 for issue number 1, which is really surprising. It's not a book or a comic or a series that I hear a lot of people talking about. The only real other person I hear talking about it is Wolf Warner, but Wolf reads everything. But the Comic Jabroni absolutely loves this series, but it is an honorable mention because I think there's 5 other stories, books that I've enjoyed more than this. But if you're into magic, if you're kind of a Harry Potter fan, but you want a kind of a different perspective on a magical world, a magical realm, feels more like where we live, you're gonna want to read Excellence, guys. This is an excellent book. Let's get into the list, starting at number 5. So number 5 on my list goes to Marvel Comics Meet the Skrulls. This is issue number 1. This released in May of 2019, and it was a 5-issue miniseries, guys. This was such a fantastic read that really flew under the radar. Here is issue 1. There's issue number 2. Here is issue number 3, issue number 4. Some of you guys that love those full face covers, you got to be digging that one right there. And here is the last issue, issue number 5. So like I said, this came out in May of 2019, just like that Excellence. So May was a good month for comics. I can say that right now. This is such a great read. You get new introduction to characters. Yes, we know who the Skrulls are, and we know that they can infiltrate any organization that they want, because they can take the form of whatever human they want, whether it be a superhero or a regular civilian. They can take that form. They have some memories of these people. But in Meet the Skrulls, we meet this family, the Warners, and the little kids, the mom, the dad, and how they are all Skrulls. They've come to planet Earth to infiltrate some of the government agencies that we have here in America. And they are trying to discover some secrets, guys. I love this series, and one of the biggest things about it, it reminds me of the FX TV show, The Americans. If you've never seen that show and you have Amazon Prime, all 5 seasons of The Americans is on Amazon Prime. My wife and I, we binge watched that this year. I mean, it probably took us a month to watch all 5 seasons, and it was incredible. And this right here gives you that feeling. If you're into, like I said with Excellence, if you're into magic, boom, read Excellence. If you're into kind of a spy type of story, you know, in a world where you might already be familiar with characters, right? The Skrulls, Marvel, you understand that, you're going to love Meet the Skrulls. It's off the beaten path. It's a little bit different, but it's a spy story set in the Marvel world. This was number 5 on my list this year. Let's get into number 4. All right, guys, at number 4, we've got Naomi, issue number 1. This was a 6-issue miniseries that started in January, and it gave us the introduction of a new character in DC. It was one of the biggest reasons why I absolutely enjoyed this. Obviously, one of the other big reasons that I loved it was the artwork by Jamal Campbell, right? It is written by Brian Michael Bendis. Bendis came into DC with big ideas, big stories that he wanted to tell, and this was one of the ones he wanted to tell. He wanted to give us a new character, something in DC that we really haven't had in quite a long time, right? We're always reading about Joker, Batman, Harley Quinn, Superman, Wonder Woman, the Justice League, right? Those are characters we've known forever. But in this, we get a brand new character. Now, I know Naomi number 1 got a ton of speculation heat, and it's still a book that's going for way over cover. And I think it's a long-term hold, guys. It is a brand new character. DC's going to use this character. Whether they're using her right now in the best way possible, I don't know. I'm not reading Young Justice anymore, but I will say that I absolutely enjoyed this because, like I said, gave us a brand new character, gave her a good, awesome backstory where she's kind of like Superman, right? She came to Earth as a baby. These parents took her in, don't really want to tell her her whole backstory, but she figures it out. So there's issue number 1. Here is issue number 2. There's number 3. Here's issue number 4. One of my favorite covers is issue number 5 right there with her having the new suit on. And the last issue is issue number 6, guys. So issue number 1, there you go. There's that cover. There is a variant cover of this, which is still, I'm thinking it's a $40 comic book, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure. I hope you guys jumped in on the hype train on Naomi. I was talking about Naomi since the very beginning. I loved this series. It is number 4 on my list. I know I might get some flack. People might say, well, it's the overhyped train, Edwin. I don't think this is a character that's going to pan out in the long term. Well, that's your opinion. I've got my opinion. I have the whole series. I love it. I'm not ever going to probably get rid of it. But let me know, did you pick it up? What did you think of it? Moving into the list at number 3, my top reads of 2019. House of X. This is issue number 1. Now, I could have cheated and I could have said House of X, Powers of 10, because it is really a 12-issue mini-series that they kind of combined together. But I decided that I only wanted to go with one of the two. And to me, it was an easy choice. If you're choosing between House of X, Powers of 10, I think that House of X beats out Powers of 10. Powers of 10 is going to throw a lot at you. Some of the issues went over my head. And I know a lot about X-Men. I know a lot about the Marvel Universe. And Powers of 10 was kind of a difficult read. But House of X, let me tell you, this was an incredible read that got us interested, got us, right? The comic community, got us interested in X-Men again, because X-Men had been floundering for probably the last 2 or 3 years. Nobody cared about X-Men. Nobody cared about these characters. Marvel didn't care so much that they even tried to give us the Inhumans, right? To make Inhumans as like the takeover of the X-Men, right? They didn't care so much about X-Men that they said, well, hell, let's just give Inhumans a push and pull back the X-Men. That didn't work out, so they had to do something. So Jonathan Hickman, Pepe Larraz on the artwork on House of X, incredible. Let's go over the issues. Number 2, I will say, is the best single comic of 2019. This issue right here made us care about Moira McTaggart like we have never cared about one single character ever. Moira McTaggart was an afterthought, an X-Men ally that nobody cared about until this issue. And then Moira McTaggart became a effing badass. And let me tell you, issue number 2 was my single issue read of the year. Here is issue number 3, issue number 4, which comes in at a close second for read of the year. I remember reading this issue and then texting John's Comics with Kids, seconds afterwards saying, I cannot believe what I just read. This issue is amazing. Amazing. Here is issue number 5 and this incredible variant to issue number 6 with Magneto on the cover. Guys, I don't know how much I can really talk about House of X Powers of 10. Most of us have read it. Some of you out there think it was super overly hyped. You didn't want to get into it. You didn't want to read it. You didn't care about X-Men. Guys, I would highly suggest that you pick it up and trade, give it a read, or read it on the Marvel U app if you have it. Just give it a read. Give House of X a read. Give it a chance. Now, I think Jonathan Hickman is doing a disservice to the X-Men now on his new run, this X-Men run. I don't think X-Men is that great, but the rest of the Dawn of X titles coming out of this are incredible, guys. But X-Men is that hot doo-doo water. But I digress. House of X, incredible read. That comes in at number 3. This was September of 2019, and it ended, 3 months after this, September, October, November, something like that. Anyways, let's get into the next series. Coming in at number 2, if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you know that I am a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. And this series right here has kept me engaged. It's kept me loving and coming back to Ninja Turtles for the past 4 or 5 years. IDW's run on Ninja Turtles is incredible. It gives you a lot of the darkness that many fans loved with the Mirage titles, but it gives you some of that feel-good story that we remember from the cartoon, that fun-loving Ninja Turtles that we remember as kids. It gives you both elements. What I will say is that this City at War that started in April of 2019 with issue number 93 was an incredible journey. From issue 93 up to 100, you got a ton of speculation heat with 1 or 2 issues in there, which I knew was coming. And you got the return of the Shredder. So here's issue number 93, and I will tell you this, that all of the issues that I have in this series are the retailer incentive, right? They're the 1 in 10s. I make sure that I pick those up every month because I love these covers. But here's issue number 94. This next one is the one that picked up massive amounts of heat, and that's issue number 95. This is the issue where Jennika becomes a Ninja Turtle. Here is issue 96, which I think is my favorite out of all of these retailer incentives. I love this black and white sketch covery look. Issue 97 right here. Issue number 98. Here is a oversized issue 99, which I didn't really understand why they did it, but it's probably because they had so much story to tell that they needed to condense 99 and 100 into oversized issues. And here is the last issue, and that is number 100. On issue number 100, I am just showing you the regular A cover. I did pick up all 3 covers on that, although there are 2 more covers for issue 100 that I just could not afford. But man, City at War was incredible. I mean, not only do you get the Turtles versus the Foot Clan, but you get the Turtles versus the Earth Protection Force, which is a government agency that is out there to protect Earth, but to really kill mutants. You also get the Mutanimals in there with their own agenda. I mean, it really is a City at War. I loved it. It brought characters back to us. It took some characters away. Some characters died off. It was a great read. I have been touting Turtles to you guys and trying to hype and push Turtles so much. I hope you guys read this series. I think that issue 100 is a great starting on point for a lot of you that want to get into Turtles. Now, if you can find issue 93 through 100, I would suggest reading that. They give you a ton of backstory. At the end of every issue, there is a history of Turtles from issue number 1, right? So if you can find issue 93 through 100, pick those up, read them. You will get a backstory at the very end of each issue for what's been going on since issue number 1 of Turtles. Plus, you get that story of City at War. It is a great story, guys, but it comes in at number 2 for me. Here comes number 1. So at number 1, this was easy for me. I mean, incredibly easy. This is a series that was hyped at the beginning, but a lot of the hype died off, and a lot of people jumped off the train after issue maybe number 1 or number 2. I loved it. Kanto, number 1 from IDW. I was a little bit late to the hype train because when issue number 1 came out, they didn't have it at my shop. When issue 2 came out, they didn't have it at my shop. So I had to go to another comic shop here in San Antonio, and I was lucky enough to find the second printing of number 1. I'm still on the hunt for a first print, but everything else I have are first prints. I loved Kanto. Now, this released in June of 2019. It ended here just recently in November of 2019. But this is a feel-good story, an adventure story about this little guy, Kanto, who's out there to save the girl, the woman that he loves by finding her heart from a magician, an evil wizard. So it's an adventure. It's a feel-good story, guys, and it is great for adults and great for kids. And every time I've ever talked about Kanto, I've always said that this, whenever they decide to make this a movie, it's going to be one of the greatest cartoon kids movies of all time, especially if they do it in the vein of a Coraline, right? Or Nightmare Before Christmas, kind of those stop motion type of movies. I think everybody will absolutely fall in love with this character. There's issue number 1. Here is issue number 2, issue number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Guys, I can't stress it enough how much I absolutely loved every single issue of Kanto. Every issue gave us a cliffhanger at the end, which made you want to go out and read that next issue. Oh God, I can't wait to pick up the next issue, guys. Kanto was great. Pick it up and trade if you weren't able to find the single issues. I think your kids, if you have kids, your kids will love it. Or if you have nieces and nephews or cousins that are younger, they'll love it. Read it to them. Read it to yourself. You will absolutely enjoy Kanto. That is number 1 on my list. Guys, let's get into what the comic giveaway is going to be. So, again, I apologize about yesterday's live stream. I said there was going to be a giveaway, but I forgot. It happens when you get John, when you get Perry Comics, when you get the comic triple threat, the 4 horsemen of comics together, things just go crazy, fall off the rails, go off the beaten path, and I just totally forgot, guys. But I want to do something for y'all. Now, this isn't going to be a huge giveaway. There's not going to be something incredible, but I want to give back to the community because I know a lot of y'all don't have a chance to get some of these comics. And what are these comics? They're going to be those Walmart exclusives. So what I have is Swamp Thing, issue number 1, right, from Walmart. And one that's picked up a ton of heat here very, very recently. And that's going to be that Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 1. That's the Walmart exclusive. Just released, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and I was able to pick up a few copies of it. And I want to give one back to the community. So these 2 issues are going to be a part of the comic giveaway. On top of that, whoever wins, I'm going to have a list of some trades that I have, and you get to choose one of those trades. Here's an example. There's New Avengers. It's still sealed, and it's a hardback, guys. So listen, whoever wins, I will send you a list of trades that I have, and you get to choose one, hell, maybe even 2. I don't know yet. But this comic giveaway is going to run for the next, I don't know, a week. Let's say a week until the 3rd of January. So this gives you about 6 or 7 days to enter. So to enter, all you have to do, like everybody says, like the video, comment down below, hey Edwin, I want entered, or hey Edwin, my 2019 list is blah 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 blah. And if you write blah 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 blah, I'd love you even more. And then be subscribed to my channel, guys. I recently just hit 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate and absolutely love every single subscriber that I get, guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and for supporting me in my quest to get to 1,000 and now to 2,000, guys. So easy enough, right? If you want in on this, like, be subscribed, comment down below. I want entered. My 2019 list is, Edwin, your 2019 was hot doo-doo garbage water, or it was great. I don't know, guys. But anyways, that's how you enter in to win. I hope you enjoyed this video 2019, my reads of the year, guys. So until next time, I'm Edwin the Comic Jabroni. Take it easy. Be the best version of yourselves that you can be. And I'll see you next time. Peace.